Hi, welcome to Introduction to ADF Business Components. I'm Sudhakar Mani, founder of adftraining.com. In this session, we are going to discuss about ADF Business Components. ADF BC is one of the powerful components available for ADF development, which is available as a business service. It has entity objects, association, view object, view links, and application module, all those stuff. The entity object is used for persistence of data. It represents a single row in the table. It encapsulates the validation logic using business rules, and also you can write some custom code as well. The entity object is the one which has all the APIs related to create, update, delete. All those features are available as part of the entity object. The data manipulation can be done using the entity object. The view object is something, it's a representation of view layer, the view data to the user interface, and it represents, in most of the times, it represents a simple select query. And it can be used for joining, filtering, and sorting of data. The view objects can be based on entity object, or it can be directly created programmatic as well. And also the static list is also available, which is very frequent, very rarely used, the static list of LOV. The view objects based on entity object and select query is one of the common view objects which is being created while using the ADF BC. The application module, it acts as a container for related view object instances. Also, it maintains the transaction context. And the application modules can be nested in a hierarchical manner so that you can control the number of database connections created by nesting, as well as a lot of configuration methods are available at the application module level to do the connection pooling, all those stuff. And in other frameworks, you have to do a lot of things by yourself. But in case of ADF BC, it it encapsulates all kinds of connection pooling, application module pooling. Everything is done through the application module level. So it looks like a very simple component when you use it, but it is really powerful. A lot of configuration setups are available, and it totally controls how the application is going to behave in a high load scenario. One of the important thing to understand is how the data push and data pull happens through the ADF components. Though it is taken from Y framework scenario, but same thing applies to the ADF scenario as well. Now, if you see, when the data is being pushed from the DB, pushed from the DB to the screen, it goes via the entity object and to the view object, and through the application module controller, it is shown on the screen. The same way, when some data is being pushed from the page, it goes through the controller, application module, view objects, and entity objects, and through it goes to the DB. So if you understand this structure, almost you can understand how the data push and pull happens in ADF scenario. Let's discuss about the entity object. It handles the data persistence. That's one of the primary job of the entity object. It's nothing but a representation of the table, DB table in the Java layer. It also encapsulates validation logics using business rule, all the stuff. And additional features can be added through the custom code. For example, people very frequently use the do.dml method to add their custom code. And also you can use the setter and getter methods, or create method, remove method. All those methods are available in the entity object level to write the custom code. And it maps to a single row in the table. Entity object comes with the entity object cache, which speeds up the data access and data push through the entity object cache. Association, it defines the relationship between entity objects, and it can be created automatically based on the primary key and foreign key relationship mentioned in the DB layer. while using the business component from table. When you use the business component from table, say for example department and employees, two tables are actually having a foreign primary key foreign key relationship. You can simply select department and employees. It will automatically create the association everything when you use the business component from table. And classic case where it is being used is in the master detail relationship. Also, you can specify the cardinality of the join, like it can be one to many relationship, one to one relationship, many to one relationship. All those things can be provided when association is being created. The view object, actually the view object provides the view of the data which can be used by the page or fragment. And as I said before, it can be used for joining, filtering and sorting of data. If the entity object is based on if the view object is based on an entity object, the data changes you apply through the view object can go to the entity object cache as well. From there it goes to the DB. And typical view object is based on SQL query or an entity object, very rarely based on a static list or a programmatic one. This also supports a custom Java code. You can write in view.impl.java if you want to do it at the view object level. If you want to write code at view row level, then you have to use the view row impl. And the view link is something similar to the association, like it creates a relationship between view objects. View links can be based on the association object if the view objects are based on entity object as well. For example, when if departments and employees table is created with an entity object and then as an association, when you create a view object on top of this entity object, when you want to connect both of them, you can simply reference the existing association object rather than creating the relationship one more time. And especially this is used in the master detail relationship. The application module, it's a container for related view object instances, and mainly it maintains the transaction context. And as I said before, you can nest the application module as well. The view instances exposed in the application module are available in the data control, so that you can drag and drop to the UI page or fragment. Thanks for watching this demo.